Hi manifestors, today's video is about how to get good at something that you are terrible at now. These are 6 things that you can do to get good at something that you are not good at this moment. Some of these are going to be manifestation techniques, some of them will be just practical advice. Um, when I was a kid, my mom put me in ballet classes and I was the worst, like the worst. I don't even want to go look at those videos. I was so bad. My teacher was always yelling at me and I was terrible for 3 years. Um, I started using and discovering some of these techniques that I'm going to tell you about, and ended up by the time I was 22, I was leading a dance group, choreographing my own pieces, directed an entire performance on my own. Since then, I've performed professionally a couple times. I've taken classes probably in at least 25 different styles of dance. Who knows what's next? I've also done a lot of damage to my body, so I'm not doing anything right now, but we are working on manifesting recovery from that too. So, without further ado, here are 6 things that you can do to get good at something, even if you're really bad at it now. So the first one is going to be from the Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. There's an entire chapter on desire. In order to achieve something that's really difficult for you, you have to have a burning desire to want to do that thing. You have to have a burning desire to accomplish whatever it is that you want to accomplish. I ended up having that because when I was little, my parents would just leave me in rehearsal and they wouldn't pick us up on time. So I spent hours and hours like watching the older girls performing and like practicing and seeing the beautiful costumes, and like I was like, I wanted to be that level so badly. I had that burning desire. So that, because if you do not have a burning desire, you will quit before you have gotten good at the thing, because it takes time. It takes time, and it takes a lot of consistent effort to build any kind of a skill in anything. So the burning desire is going to be the first manifestation technique. If you do have a burning desire, you're naturally going to want to spend a lot of your time studying the thing, practicing the thing, and it's just going to be a lot. And then it's going to be a lot easier. And then when it gets difficult, you'll be more likely to push through instead of quitting. So that is number one. The second one is to see yourself in the end goal. I remember when I was young, one of the things I had written down for like the goals that I had for my future when I grew up, and one of the things I wrote down is I wanted to learn every style of dance. I've come to learn that there are so many that I probably will never learn all of them, but I'm at about 25 at this point, gotten significant progress in about 5 or 6. And so I think writing that down kind of directed me in like the direction that I wanted to go. If you are in a, like if you're, you want to see yourself like in the role you want. For example, like when I was in ballet, I always knew, like when we had auditions, I would always know what part that I wanted. I actually never got it until my very last performance. We were doing Le Corsaire, and I watched the ballet like before we had the auditions. I was like, I want to be in the Village Women dance, like the one near the very beginning, and actually ended up in that one. And I was like, like my mind was blown because I never manifested the exact role that I wanted before. So that was, and I think it was because my manifestation ability by that time, this was like about 10 years ago, maybe 9-10 years ago. By then I was able to manifest much more clearly than I had in the past. So seeing yourself doing the thing, like maybe you want to be like a public speaker, you want to be, I don't know, president of the United States. See yourself as whatever it is. Visualize yourself as that, like when you go to sleep at night. Do that, like make it a priority, like really be able to see yourself in the end result. That's definitely something that will help. Okay, the third one it's kind of manifestation and kind of also practical advice. Fully immerse yourself in the world of the thing that you want to do. Take as many classes as you can. Spend time online, like studying. Spend as much time as possible around people who are already good at the thing that you want to do. Look at what they're doing that may be different from what you thought. Look at if you find like 5 or 6 of them that are all doing the same thing, definitely do that. What I did when I was young and I was really bad at dancing, I noticed that there were other kids in my class that were taking multiple styles of dance. And like I was just in ballet at the time. And so we talked my parents into letting me be in more classes. I was about 10 years old at the time. And just ended up like just spending more and more time in the dance studio every year. And spending more time around people who were good at the thing I wanted to do, spending more time around my teacher. I ended up like taking the opportunity to work there, and I ended up like scheduling my work day on the day that the advanced ballet class was so that I could watch the girls in that class. I wasn't quite at that level yet, but my teacher ended up putting me in the class. So anything you do to devote yourself into the world of the thing that you're trying to get good at, do it. Like, you don't know how you can benefit yourself by just putting yourself in the right place at the right time. So with that in mind, I'm going to give you my next one. I'm going to go a little bit out of order, but because it seems to fit in. Let your work ethic make up for whatever talent you don't have. Not necessarily a manifestation technique, just good practical advice. If you want to get good at something, be consistent. Show up every day. Don't miss an opportunity if you can help it. And it takes years. It can take years to really see the progress that you want, but that consistent effort, and actually, I wasn't necessarily the best with consistent effort because during that time, I had a lot of interests. Dance wasn't the only thing that I focused on, so I didn't focus on it maybe as much as I really needed to get the results that I really wanted. I think I did very well considering how bad I was in the beginning, but having more consistent effort, I think I would have gone way farther. So that's the fourth one. The fifth one is another one that I didn't do. And if I had done it, I think I would have been unstoppable. So this is having a mindset that nothing can stop you and believing that all of your weaknesses are surmountable. So where I messed this up wasn't necessarily my fault. I was still like maybe about 13 years old. What happened was I was struggling with my flexibility. I noticed that the kids who were doing well in dance, they all had like way more flexibility than I had. And I made the mistake of asking my parents what to do, like they knew. They didn't know. But they told me that because I was beyond puberty, that my flexibility was never going to get any better, and that I should like instead focus on things that I was good at, like getting the good grades in math and science. And that was not an acceptable answer for me. So, but I got very upset because I noticed that it seemed like they were right, because it seemed like I kept working on my flexibility and I kept getting nowhere. I did a fair amount of damage to my body during those years, like trying to force changes that weren't happening. I didn't even know that they were lying to me, and not that they were lying, but that they were wrong, until I was beyond 30, and I had stopped dancing and ended up like in a yoga class. It was body and brain yoga. They are awesome. You should definitely look them up, to be able to almost fix anything that's wrong in your body. I started taking these classes around my 30s and got like more flexibility than I ever had as a kid. And then I was like, wait a second, like this is what they told me was impossible is very possible. And now it's like, but now I'm like really old and not, and like I thought I was really old. I don't think I was anymore, but like I hated that I learned the right thing at the wrong time. If I had known in my teens that these flexibility challenges were not insurmountable, if I had that mindset, like anything is possible, I think I would have been able to like position myself very well for being in my 20s. As it is, we're gonna just have to see what happens like in my 50s or whatever. More to come, but give yourself affirmations. Like, understand that you're a human being, and as a human being, there's nothing that you desire that is impossible to you. If you are desiring to be something or to do something, there is definitely a way, because we never desire something that's completely impossible for us. You might not know, like, it might not make sense, it might not look like you can get there, but you can definitely get there. Give yourself affirmations. Say, I'm unstoppable. My weaknesses can be strengthened. I will go over, under, around, and through every obstacle that's between me and the thing that I want. All things are possible with God. So that's very important one. And then the last one is to find, this is more of practical advice than manifesting advice, but find ways to take what you are good at and then use that in the thing that you're not good at. So when I was in dance classes and I was young, I noticed, I realized that, like, well, I'm good at school, I'm good at memorizing, good at math, and it ends up that being good at math and being good at musicality are kind of related. So ended up being able to like memorize all the dances, learn them faster than anyone, and that ended up being kind of a strength throughout my life. I would always be the first one to learn the dances. People were following me like all the time. Like, I remember one time someone followed me into a wall because like I just danced into the wall. But it was that kind of thing. Like, I just took the brain power that I had. I'm like, my body's not great, but my brain is there, so let's use what I've got. And that's another thing that really helped. So those are the 6 things you can do to get good at something that you're not good at right now. To recap, it will be having a burning desire to do the thing that you want to do, seeing yourself in the end goal, really visualizing yourself in the state of what you want, fully immerse yourself in the world of the thing you want to do, let your work ethic make up for your lack of talent, believe that anything is possible, and give yourself affirmations that anything is possible for you, and find ways to apply your natural and existing strengths into the thing that you're trying to learn to do. That's what I've got for you today. Let me know what you thought about this video, and happy manifesting.